wanted your pain to last. Face up, face down, attack or defend. Face up, face down.
Hello everyone and welcome back to round 10 of the UK National Championship 2016. This is the last round of Swiss. For many people it's deciding whether or not they make it into the top 64 or if they're going home at this point. I'm joined here with Luke Withington for commentary this weekend.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the last round.
Yes, we had a couple of requests which we decided to answer. We have Zach Blundell, is that right?
Yeah, Blundell.
Blundell versus Alistair Bowman. So we're going to see a Burning Abyss versus Performer Pal matchup. What are your thoughts looking at the deck lists?
Yeah, I don't think we've seen this matchup at all yet this weekend. So
Not Burning Abyss Pepe.
No, it should be fairly interesting. The other Draco Pals deck that we saw, I think I got it wrong. In fact, it was an Odd Eyes version, whereas this isn't playing any of the Odd Eyes cards. It's just Dracos and Pals.
Yeah, it's playing 2 copies of Painful Decision in the main. It's also playing Pendulum Rising for the access to Pendulum Sorcerer.
Yeah, multiple Irish national champion winner Luke Smythe was telling me how much he loved Painful Decision while he was at the Irish National Championships. He said that he would even go to playing up to 3 copies of it in his deck.
Really? Wow, that is committing to a lot of normal monsters.
Yeah, but he was playing so much of the Draco Slayer engine that you could play 3.
Looking over the Burning Abyss deck, is just are we looking at PK Fire or are we just looking at straight up Burning Abyss?
So it's Burning Abyss with Kaijus.
Okay, that's interesting.
So it's 4 Kaiju monsters and 1 of the Slumber spell card.
Yeah, which we saw actually being a huge part of being able to take down Ultimate Falcon, and Garmacell only having 2200 attack, your Dantes could run over it.
Yeah, exactly. And let's just have a look. Is he playing? Don't think he's playing the Ultimate Falcon.
Okay, no, he's not.
No, it's just going with traditional. One of the really interesting things about his deck list is he's got 2 Fire Lakes in the side deck. Now, it's interesting to me because the Card of Demise decks that are being played quite a lot would, really get hit a lot by Fire Lake.
Oh yeah, the good old-fashioned Klee scoops when you resolve Fire Lake.
Yeah, exactly. So let's stop talking about the deck list and let's get straight into the game.
Yeah, let's head over to the table. Okay.
There we are. So we have Zach on the right and Alistair on the left.
Is it me or does BA Kaiju sound like an NBA team? Like, is that really a good name for a deck?
Yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
I can almost imagine that on a t-shirt. Just
Well, which one of the Kaijus do you think they... Ooh, that's not a great hand for Alistair there. He's just opened 5 Burning Abyss monsters with multiples of the same and the not great ones as well. So he is playing Dragic, which I can't remember what Dragic does.
sends a spell trap to the graveyard, doesn't it?
No, that's...
Oh no, puts a card on top of your deck. I'm thinking of Kagna.
Yeah, that's Kagna.
But he can, at the very least, make some special summons. So we're going to take a quick look at Zach's hand. And Zach's hand has Performer Pal's Silverclaw, Solemn's Scolding, Summoner Monk with no spells, Master of Draco Pal Monkey Board, and the normal one of the normal Draco Slayer monsters.
Master Pendulum.
Yeah, I had it right and I bumbled it completely. Okay, so Burning Abyss
Scolding, that's interesting.
That's very good because he doesn't. He can quite comfortably pass with that, and he's also got the turn 1 Pendulum Sorcerer.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zach's going to be set up pretty nicely, and Alistair is going to be looking for
ways to break this board.
Yeah,
I think Alistair's not really aiming to be able to win this game with the hand that he has. In all honesty, I think he wants to be able to draw his 1 copy of Fire Lake that he's playing in the main deck to clear out those scales.
Is he going to be too far behind for that to matter at this point? Well, we have already seen the monkey board being used, so along with the Skull Acrobat Joker. So the one card scales are out of the deck, but Zach has just revealed to his opponent Lizard Draw and Gaturtle, which
he's just going to draw loads of cards at this point.
He's going to be so far ahead. Do you think the Fire Lake is actually even going to be relevant?
I think if you're able to clear scales out and clear a reasonable amount of monsters, then it's not too bad. But in all honesty, I'm pretty sure that Zach's going to end with a Dynastor here. At some point in his turn, he will play a Dynastor.
Meaning that the Pendulum monsters are being protected.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, he's just drawing loads of cards here. Eccentric and Silverclaw, so that's another decent set of high scales there. He's going to overlay to Magister first.
Yep, there it is. I think that's the first time we've seen Magister Paladin on the stream this weekend
yes.
for such a powerful card.
I think he must. Is that going? Yeah, he knows that his opponent's playing good.
Yeah, 100%. He has seen this coming, and he's going to get the search.
He must know what he's playing.
And he's probably got a complete scale. Although he has just put all of his pendulum monsters under Xyz monsters, so he's not actually going to get those back with future pendulum summons. Is that going to be a hindrance to him, or do you feel like this setup is actually a lot better than actually just leaving the pendulum monsters in play and only going for, say, the Abyss Dweller?
Sorry, I completely missed your question. I was reading.
So I'm saying one of the big disadvantages of using Xyz monsters with pendulum monsters is because you're overlaying them, they're not actually ending up in your extra deck.
Okay,
and he just basically put 4 of his guys straight under monsters that can actually be removed.
Yeah.
He's done that in the standby phase. 100% he knows what his opponent's doing.
Yeah.
He's not even waiting.
Yeah, so I think it is a big deal, but because he used Magister in such a way, he can go and look for those 1-card scales to, so like Joker or whatever, or completed scales that he already had in his hand to be able to get going again. You just need another Pendulum Sorcerer to be able to resolve, and then you're going to fill up your extra.
He did search for a Pendulum Sorcerer off of the Magister, because we've already seen the Monkey Board and the Acrobat Joker being played so far.
So let's see where
okay, he's got a
Alistair decides to go here. They does have a reasonable amount of monsters in there.
Yeah, but Monkey Board doesn't really do anything in your
No.
extra deck, so he's actually only got like 2 cards in there.
Yeah, I think there's the judge asking the same question as I. What does Dragic do?
Sorry, can I see this, please?
Yeah.
He is still under Abyss Dweller, and there's a Scolding face down. So Zach could be very realistically looking at an OTK next turn.
If he Scoldings the, what could have only been better if Zach had Maxi, but anyway, yeah. If he Scoldings the monster summon, then it's not going to get its effect either. Whereas if he just walls up here with a few Dantes, if he just special summons all of these Burning Abyss monsters, and then overlays into a few Dantes, maybe up even into Beatrice.
Yeah, you don't detach here for the Dante, right, under Abyss Dweller, because you get to send some cards from your deck to go, but you're not going to gain any profit, so it just probably makes sense to not use the materials, right?
Yeah, I would just leave Dante.
Okay, unless he's going to use it for an attack, but here's the Scolding, and he will not get Dante's effect either.
Nope, he's not going to get any of those effects. That's 3 effects that the Abyss Dweller has prevented there. And that Dante is going to be unable to be revived by a Sir later on as well.
Yeah, that's actually something to keep an eye on, because a lot of players actually, even on high levels, forget this, that if a monster wasn't successfully summoned, you can't revive it. And in a long game with Burning Abyss, where you've got multiple Dantes and lots of deck going through, you can get to the later stages of the game and forget about this. So it's just something to keep an eye on. If you negate the summon of these Dantes, that your opponent absolutely cannot get it back later. Alright, we're going to see Dante number 2. And the effect is going to be used. Okay, yeah. So the judge has actually turned Dante upside down, so he can actually remember that it shouldn't be special summoned.
Oh, in his graveyard?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a clever idea.
And interesting, because obviously it goes back to the extra deck at the end of the match. Or whenever it gets returned to the extra deck, it's not going to affect the game in any way being upside down.
Yeah, no, that was a great idea. I remember when it was a very long time ago now, where you're not really allowed to do it anymore, but you would turn some cards sideways in your graveyard to remember them, things like Treeborn Frog.
Right, and
you'd always put it sideways in your graveyard so that it was sticking out.
Yeah, you are not allowed to do that.
You're not allowed to do that anymore. But this one's perfectly good.
Yeah, the short answer to that is don't forget your triggers.
Yeah.
Yep, Dante going to be switching to defense mode. And probably getting upgraded to Beatrice. Yeah, that burning of Alistair just down a lot of cards because of the Abyss Dweller this turn. That would have been a whole bunch of effects triggering for him that would have kept him up with resources, but he's pretty much getting caught all in. Of course, he has Beatrice to be able to use any of the extra monsters in his deck.
Yeah.
So he can then detach his Dante and get cards back. So he's not completely all in, but he's has far less cards than he could have had the Abyss Dweller not been down on turn 1.
Yeah. I just think that he's in a poor position here. I think I saw multiple Abyss Dwellers in Zach's. I was thinking to myself, I remember it from when he was looking through.
He's playing 2.
I can just look at his deck list. Yeah, he's got 2.
Yeah, so he could. But the problem is, if he tries to follow up with Abyss Dweller here, you've always got Beatrice that can always. Actually, no, because of the ordering of it, you wouldn't.
You'd always be able to get Abyss Dweller out.
Yeah. You'd always be able to resolve that.
We see a pendulum summon.
Of many.
Many pendulum.
Lots of Performer Pals. Yu-Yo would be happy.
Yeah.
Be very proud of this.
I can't remember his phrase now, which I would say if I could remember it.
Actually, that's a good question. I've only seen the Japanese. I've not actually seen the English version.
Yeah. Let's go with High Five the Sky.
That's not.
Okay.
That's the wrong phrase.
Okay, so there's the second Abyss Dweller.
Yeah.
Oh, he's putting the English one on the field.
Yeah. I can imagine Alistair is so unimpressed seeing a second Abyss Dweller. Most players will only play one. Zach obviously very aware of the PK Fire and Burning Abyss matchup.
He's attacking with Silverclaw. I was kind of expecting...
He has Pendulum summoned with a Sorcerer in the scale.
Ah, of course. So that could potentially get over the Beatrice.
Yeah, it's plus a 5 attack to all Performer Pals, and Silverclaw gives an additional 300 attack. And Alistair going to be picking up his cards, because obviously he's not going to get the Beatrice effect or any of his Burning Abyss monsters, and he's completely out of cards after that. So Zach controlling the duel with Abyss Dweller and proving why it's an extra deck staple for any deck that can play it.
Yeah, he very much was swinging into action there.
You remembered it, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I just asked Jarvis, in fact. Jarvis, he knows everything.
Yeah, that's the advantage to having a very talented tech team. Also, thank you, Woodhouse and Jarvis. Oh.
Yeah, you can see you over there, in fact.
Yeah, on one of our banners.
Yeah, tell us how you like these banners. These are the national championship banners that they've been used for a lot of different events, but where we have them all around the venue. We've got various characters from the anime.
Oh yeah, we want you to know that you're at a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament.
Yeah.
Like you're not hiding that if you come here. People will know.
Yeah, I really like it's that way. I keep because the way the camera's mirrored.
Yeah.
I like his hair. His hair's probably the best hair.
Or the one that looks like a tomato.
No.
Yugo's
hair.
Yeah, Yugo's pretty cool.
Who looks like a tomato?
No, Yugo.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, Yugo's hair. I like Yugo's hair. It's really cool.
What are we going to... Coming back to the match.
Oh yeah. We're commenting a match.
Yeah, we're kind of working here.
Okay, right.
What should we be looking at in the side deck?
Right. Unfortunately, Alistair decided to write his deck on just a piece of paper, so I can't find it. Okay, there it is. So, he's got multiple Vanity's Fiends.
That seems very good against a Pendulum matchup.
Mischief of the Gnomes. That's going to be pretty good if he's going to stop those Exceed plays.
Yes.
Mischief of the Gnomes, for those who don't know, reduces the level of monsters in the hand as well as the field. And it's got a multi-use because it works kind of like Breakthrough Skill.
He's also got Twin Twisters, which could come into play for taking out the scales.
Fire Lakes and I went to the same locals as Alistair for some time, and he seems like the perfect person to be playing double Ceasefire in his side deck as well.
Oh, that's somebody who, if it goes to time, he's like, don't worry guys, I've got Ceasefire, and I've got lots of Burning Abyss monsters to back that up.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised how much damage you can actually churn out on a single Ceasefire.
Yeah.
And he's got Barbers in the main as well, isn't he? 2 Barber.
Yeah. He's definitely he definitely thought that one through. So looking over to Zach's deck, the Draco Pals player, he's got various Solemns in his side deck, as well as a couple of Guiding Ariadnes. I think that's probably him kind of making a decision and thinking, okay, well, if I go up in this first game and I get a chance to resolve Ariadne at a risk of making my deck a little less consistent with all of the Performer Pal plays, then I'm just going to be able to set up really well. So it's a bit of a risk, I think.
Yeah, like he's obviously using Pendulum Sorcerer to trigger the Guiding Ariadne and get the search off the Sorcerer. One of the reasons that the Performer Pals are still an incredibly viable deck, despite seeing itself hit by the Forbidden Limited list very recently.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just it's really good by Zach there. He seems like he's given up quite a few spaces in his side deck for potential cards like Mask of Restrict that he's just not playing at all. He's using cards like Cyblock. He's got one copy of various cards that I would never think that he would just have one copy of, like Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer, Cyblocker, Lila.
What are you siding Kaiku in against, even? Is it relevant in this matchup, being able to take away...
I can only think maybe against Cosmo.
Stops them banishing monsters from the graveyard, right?
Yeah, so they can't banish their ships.
Yeah. Well, actually, yeah. But they can just still remove a pilot, summon the Dark Destroyer, and then you're square one.
Yeah, I don't know. That was the only thing that I could really think of off the top of my head.
Alright, so it's very likely Alistair will choose to take the first turn here to prevent him getting caught out by
The open Fire Lake.
Fire Lake. Very, very strong. That's going to be great.
Or he could just... He's got a Burning Abyss Monster and Vanity's Fiend, so he could just Burning Abyss Monster, Vanity's Fiend, pass.
Oh, he's got so many options there. He's also got Lure Darkness, Tour Guide from the Underworld.
So many different cards. Let's see if Zach has any response in his hand. Nope, he's opened... Actually saw Zach playing this deck. He's playing 2 copies of Angel Trumpeter, the level 4 tuner monster, normal tuner monster that you can summon with Rescue Rabbit.
And also Unexpected Day.
Yeah. It would be unexpected.
Yeah. Also, I saw actually in the chat somebody pointed out that you can get Kaiku from Summoner Monk very, very quickly to use it against Monarchs or Cosmo.
Yeah.
He decided to actually go with a Tour Guide play instead of going for an early Vanity's Fiend.
Yeah. I think it's probably a better play to go down that direction.
The Vanity's Fiend on its own so vulnerable because he didn't really have any way to back it up. And if his opponent does just go, hey, here's my Regeki, Zach would be in a very good position. So instead we're going to see the safer, I'm rooting in for the late game, going Dante, sending 3 cards to the graveyard, 3 Burning Abyss monsters, however only one of them with a usable effect, which is Dracolish. Is that how you say it?
Draglich, yeah.
Draglich.
Oh, Draglich. I don't know. It's got a weird name.
There you go. For the guys that keep asking for German commentary, that's probably as close as you're going to get for this weekend, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
But you can actually catch the German National Championship on our YouTube channel if you are interested in catching up on some German commentary. Major thanks to Umit Seren and Oliver supplying that last weekend. So the graph is going to special summon a Burning Abyss monster. It's going to be Skarm.
Yep. So he has his 2 Burning Abyss monsters for Fire Lake right now.
Yep, so he can Fire Lake when his opponent tries to go for a big chain play.
Let me remind myself of the hand of Zach here.
Well, he's got a Mystical Space Typhoon, so the Mystical Space Typhoon clears the Fire Lake.
Yeah, that's if he chooses to use it straight away on there.
Well, he's going to set it. Well, does he go for the blind Mystical Space Typhoon?
Hey, I was a Kalkab, Rubik, and Kagama. Of course you got a shout out on the stream, Ollie. We miss you loads.
No, I'm never allowed out of the office anymore, so I never see Ollie.
You must miss him really loads then.
Oh no, it's kind of right. He's in really, really good shape right now, and so when I sit next to him, I just feel kind of fat, to be honest. So I don't miss that.
I feel even worse. Okay, so enough about my terrible exercise habits. We see 2 Dantes followed by a Fire Lake.
Really interestingly, the Mystical Space Typhoon, if it does clear out the Fire Lake, which is going to be likely, I don't see any reason for Zach to not go Mystical Space Typhoon and then try and commit to a big Pendulum play.
Yeah. There he
the goes. Dantes can actually get the Fire Lake back.
Yes, it can.
And Alistair will have an opportunity to do it later, but he will be using Fire Lake against a resolved field instead of being able to break a setup.
Yes, certainly. So, big instant fusion coming out here. Do apologise if you can hear the air conditioning. It keeps...
It's keeping us cold. You guys just have to deal with it. I'm not getting really hot and sweaty this morning. I'm sorry. You're going to have to just deal with it.
It's afternoon, man. We've been going at this already for...
A few hours, right?
Yeah. 3 hours. Oh, it feels much longer than 3 hours this morning. Yeah, I think we're making good time this morning. Where we've got
Abyss Dweller.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Abyss Dweller twice.
Just gonna pass.
Abyss Dweller twice pass. Okay, so he's going to Can he get OTK'd from 7,000 life points? Well, his set card is what's that set
He's
card?
sided in a bunch.
Oh, because he has so many traps, right?
Yeah.
Oh, Solemn Warning. Okay.
One morning. Yeah. Also, Dweller's big, by the way, for those who.
Oh yes, it's 2,200 because of the Norden underneath being a water attribute monster.
Yep.
Twin Twister going to take away the Solemn Warning. Skarm unfortunately not going to be able to do anything. But that is 5,000 attack right there on the field.
Yeah, I mean, you can just.
But look at how many of these would have been great hits had it not been an Abyss Dweller.
Yeah. He's just counting the.
Look at his graveyard's already big in his deck. Or close enough up to it.
Was it last game that we? Yeah, well, no. Was it last game that we saw the tour guide being played?
No, it was just turn 1 on this game.
We just saw another tour guide milled.
Did we? Are we sure, or is it an optical illusion?
It might have been an optical illusion.
Well, he's got a Vanity Fiend right there.
Yeah.
Which actually Zach, yeah, I'm pretty sure we didn't. I'd be surprised if Alistair's made it this far in the tournament with 2 tour guides in the deck.
Oh, okay. Yes, it was the way that he moved his cards around just then.
Oh, because he detached it.
He detached it, yeah.
Yeah.
He detached it and then I think he may have milled and then put it on top of the cards he detached. So they're in the wrong order, but
Yeah,
Anyway.
that could be relevant sometimes.
That was just a little bit confusing.
I mean, what if he wants to play Question?
Yeah.
You need to be careful with this.
So I think he's calling it a day there.
Yeah, Zach is going to pack up. The Vanity Fiend is locking him out.
Yeah.
He had
That's what I thought right at the beginning. He could have just played Vanity's Fiend.
Yeah, well, that was his 2 options, wasn't it? He goes,
Yeah.
I either accelerate and play rooting for the late game, or I go for the Vanity's Fiend, and then I have forward plays with Tour Guide later. But the difference is he'd be playing that Tour Guide into back row. So he decides to actually get the most profit, the unhindered profit out of his cards.
Yeah.
Before committing to a later game Vanity's Fiend, after Zach had already had to commit to dealing with the Fire Lake and trying to just hold off these 2 Dantes.
Yeah, in all honesty, I think that was the better play because if you'd have summoned Vanity's Fiend there, he could have just won, but he's down a game.
Yeah,
so that'd have been a risky maneuver.
Yeah.
Whereas Tour Guide was more likely to generate a bit of advantage.
It gets him plays later in the game.
Yeah, and as we saw, he kept hold of that Vanity's Fiend and played it at the exact right moment, and it just made his opponent go, "Yeah, I'm done."
Yeah, his opponent just looked at his hand and was just like, I actually can't do anything from here.
Yeah, so I think that was the best move to play. From his perspective, obviously from our perspective, where we know exactly the opening hands of the players. So we just had someone asking chat about somebody. I've never heard the name, Matthew Kleins. He actually is going against Will Lucas in this round 10 on table 53.
That's still in with a shot for the... Well, it's actually... actually, might be out of the range of top 64 at this point. Because you're kind of looking at...
reasonably close, though, because
rank. That's kind of in the rank hundreds, right?
that's around rank 100, yeah. But if you... Winning a game usually halves your rank, roughly. Very, very roughly.
So it's still incredibly close call.
Yeah. But when I say half your rank, there's a lot of people that can also be in that same kind of chunk of people. So he could be at the bottom of that set of people.
This is where tiebreakers make such a big difference.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you ever need kind of a really, really rough idea of where your standing is going to be after you play a round and win or lose, losing roughly doubles it, whereas winning roughly halves it.
Just the easiest way to make sure you end it into the top cut is just don't lose any games. It's the easiest way.
Yeah.
I know that's easier said than done, but
Yeah.
I don't know my advice. Just don't play to lose duels. Okay, has the game been stopped?
Okay, so yeah, if we just come back to us for a second. Yeah, so we just have a judge call going on the feature match table, so they're going to sort that out very, very quickly. Yeah. So let's again have a look at these side deck options.
Here's a question. I did see some people in the chat actually mentioning that perhaps leaving Vanity Fiend in going second is a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean it's a okay idea if you have Stormforth or something like that to be able to take away the problem monsters, then play Vanity's Fiend. He's not playing any of those, so yeah, it probably is a kind of bad idea.
That's really interesting because then when he went first and he had the opportunity to, he decided to make the long game play. So he ended up playing the Vanity Fiend on his second turn anyway.
Yeah, I think the reason that he did that though was because he was unable to take that risk with the the situation having been down one game. He thought, I don't really want to take this risk. That's what Vanity's Fiend is in there for. It's in for the risk. If he'd have had Vanity's Fiend with also the ability to, so let's say he was able to summon Dante with Graph underneath it, and summon Vanity's Fiend, then that's an absolute win. But in that situation, I think taking the risk of just summoning Vanity's Fiend and leaving it there was not the right play. Yeah,
so it does still depend on your opening 5. It is not the auto play this immediately.
No, game 1, yeah.
Oh,
game 1, game 2, if you've just won a game, then yeah. It's just the same as everyone will definitely remember during Necros format, where you'd go up a game and then you'd be like, okay, Genlock?
Let's go Genlock C. Do you have the answer?
Good luck.
Because you can afford to take that risk.
Yeah, exactly. So you can just say to your opponent, okay, you either have the out or I win the game. Yeah. And then if you go into that game 3, you can play a bit more conservatively.
What about a pendulum deck? Is there anything going second that knowing that you're going first that you're going to consider adding in?
I think it's now game 3. They're both kind of back on even playing fields as far as the risky plays are concerned. So Zach might want to take that reasonable risk and put in Ariadne as well as his full Solemn package. So yeah, he might want to go with that.
He could go that way, and because he's going first this game, he could Pendulum Summon the Pendulum Sorcerer, or even just use Pendulum Rising. He's got lots of ways of getting access to this. He's got Monkey Board, he's got Acrobat Joker. There are so many ways to get to the Pendulum Sorcerer, which then enables all other kinds of shenanigans.
And he might even potentially take out Maxi. I know that sounds a little crazy, but if he's going first and he really wants to make sure that he's taking a risk with Ariadne, but he wants to not be drawing cards that he just can't play that first turn. Especially, I don't know how close we are to time, but if it's quite close to time, then he definitely doesn't want to have one of those games where it's like, I can't really do anything now, but in a couple of turns I'll be able to win.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's quite a bit of time on the round, to be honest. It feels like they've been going quite fast. It will be interesting to see how this fun game plays out. We haven't actually something really interesting about Alistair. Despite all of the cards he sent to the graveyard, which is more than half his deck, he hasn't revealed a single kaiju monster.
Yeah, we didn't mill any kaiju.
Or Interrupted Slumber. Like, there's 5 cards in his deck that would have given away that he's main deck in the kaiju engine, and he's not.
He milled about at least 9 cards, as well as special summon from his deck with Graph.
Yeah,
That's a good quarter of his deck.
So he's very narrowly avoided. And actually, during game 2, he may have sided the whole Kaiju engine out.
Potentially, that's
because his
what I
opponent's not
meant.
playing Cosmo and it's not playing Domain Monarchs, so he doesn't perhaps he doesn't need it. And he just goes, yeah, I can take that out.
Yeah, well, maybe I don't think it's great against the Draco Pals deck, but you know,
Well, yeah. What are you treating really, like a Dynastor?
yeah, like Dynasty's probably the biggest target to hit, or an Ignister or something.
Yeah.
Just because you know Ignister has more attack than Dante, to put it bluntly.
Yeah.
So that can be an issue there.
Dynastor's the fusion monster, right?
Yeah.
With the 20
It doesn't have-
defense. And
Yeah,
2000
yeah,
attack.
yeah. So, but Ignister, I'm talking about Ignister.
Oh,
has
Ignister, yeah.
2 850 attack.
Yeah, and
So
non-targeting
Dynastor
removal.
has massive defense as well. It is, I think it's like 2 850 as well, 2 950.
Yeah.
But again, you know that those are the only real targets, but they're not. It's not as good as getting rid of Dart Destroyer. That's that's much better.
Yeah.
You can far away.
Huh.
You can far away.
You know what? I had never once thought about that. If that was the reason it was named that way, it's because they were named after some of the things from the very old text, the Divine Comedy. But I never thought of far away, just actually taking the monster.
Far away.
Exactly that.
I forgot what I was going to say now. No, I didn't. So, you're going to send away a Dynastor or a Magister to get rid of all its materials or something like that, but you can't really do that to a Dart Destroyer.
Yeah,
you
because
you
it's
only need to temporarily get rid of a Dynastor, like a turn 1 Dynastor Magister play.
There's a lot of times where you can just use Farfar to temporarily get rid of a card and you just run over them because they have no monsters. And you're like, oh, by the way, these 3 Dantes go to attack mode.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay. Have you guys got any questions while we're waiting? This judge call seems to be going on for quite a while. What can we see in there?
There's not many questions. What are people talking about Nadia? Nadia's
He dropped,
pretty out.
right? Or
He's pretty out.
he's so far
Let's
out
have
of
a
the
look.
tournament at the moment.
Let's
He
have a
was
look.
X3, I think, starting today. Yeah, give us a second.
I think that's a different Nadia.
Yeah, probably. If you can't find him, then he's dropped.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're just quickly looking through the.
Someone's asking me if I
Stunning.
dye my hair. The answer is no.
Really, but you could look like this guy that you are so fond of.
I should do that.
Yeah, banana sort of.
It'd be kind of hard to do though, because I'd have to like this whole front bit and then this back bit. I don't know. How would you do that?
Well, I'd actually been worried that you were like wearing that into a meeting with Yumi, or I don't know, any of the other executives that visit our office.
They might love it because it's Yu-Gi-Oh.
That would be brave. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't walk into, for example, into the Tokyo office for a business meeting
That would be pretty brave.
with blue and blonde hair. I feel like that's risking it a bit too much.
Yeah, that's a little strange. We have Riceman13 asking me if I like rice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like rice.
like you just put it with anything. Like you want to have curry, you just hungry, you just have rice. Like
Okay.
he doesn't like rice. What kind of a question? Well, he's called Rice Man, so he's trolling us. So
Yeah. Luke Parks is actually on table 2.
oh, the guy we featured yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, he's doing really well actually. Yeah, see, look, the chat are agreeing with me. We should just dye my hair like Hugo.
You know what? We can do that and we get it posted on our Facebook channel. Our Facebook channel, and you can go ahead and like us on that if you want to see Luke with Yugo hair.
Yeah, casual round 14.
I don't think we're gonna have time to dye your hair today, but we can certainly do it in time for the European
We
Championships.
can give it a go.
Yeah, I hope you guys are actually looking forward to. I was about to say Dublin. Wow, I'm so last year.
So last year.
Berlin, that's coming up. We've got some fun stuff planned for the live stream on that one. In actual fact, we'll be showing you one of the new world premiere themes in the Dark Illusion, so you definitely want to tune in if you want to get a glimpse into the future of what's yet to come.
Duncan, for those who are asking, is on table 128.
Yeah, that's there was just over 300 players, I think, actually returned today to continue playing, and